Live. This is the first wave of the men's final. Takuma Sugi running into the inside on a fantastic looking wave. This is not done right here. Look at the contour of this wave. Sugi riding it with honor. Sugi continuing his ride to the inside, seeing if there's any little bonus section that he can rebound off of, but there really isn't, and there is no point in chasing down the line for small fractions of a point that may or may not be the difference. Men's final 2023 Fiji Surf Pro, Baptiste Cloarec, Robbie Swift, Ricardo Campello, and Takuma Sugi. A battle for the ages awaits us. Sugi, the first rider on the board in this. And yes, you got it right. We are scoring here. No question about it. The way this has played out has just been storybook. Little bit of a question whether or not we were going to be able to finish this thing. And God willing that these other riders in this men's final are going to be able to catch and ride waves and get scores, this will be done. It's not lost on me, you guys. This has just been a historical day. Perfection in career-defining moments and performances have been on display here. And the road to the world title for 2023 is clearing up. It's being written right now in this final. And whoever's going to be crowned champion at Cloudbreak is going to be in the world title lead. And there's a lot more to play for during the rest of the tour. But right now, let's not leave Fiji, ever. Just epic as it gets, and you can see these ground swells rolling in. The wind is light, yes, but it is definitely enough for some float and ride. Positional battles. Luck will play its hand to a degree, but you have to be skilled enough to be in the position to get lucky. And here comes Baptiste Cloarec, who has been the standout rider of this event so far from day one. And his level of efficiency and effectiveness is only matched by his tenacity and technical prowess. And he can't get into this wave. All of a sudden, Cloudbreak denies him. That was pretty strange. Ricardo Campello on the Nash sail scoops up a beauty. Campello has been in a hunt for a world wave title for a while, and he kicks out of this wave. What's up? What was wrong with that one? Robbie Swift on the best wave of this set. Better ride it. He's not going to let me down. Here comes Swifty fading into it from behind. This is a huge moment for him. He is dropping into a picturesque Cloudbreak offering and punches his cutback with precision. Robbie Swift on a gorgeous wave, a dream wave. Continuing his ride to the inside. This was the wave you wanted. Maybe it was just Campello and Cloarec who just didn't want to even be compared to that wave. Who knows? Swift gets on it and starts his final in the best possible way. Let's not forget about Takuma Sugi, who also started his final very, very strongly. Robbie Swift with a 7 and Takuma Sugi with a 6.13. Let me briefly rewind. Actually, I don't think we're going to announce the winners on the broadcast. We are going to wait for the awards ceremony. Let's do that. So let's just say we don't know who won yet. Or do you back at home already have the scores? Okay, fine. Well, never mind. I'm going to stick with the men's final here. And we'll give you the results when it's time. But I'll tell you something. That was an awesome women's final, and hats off to the 4 of you for putting on that awesome display. That was awesome. Baptiste Cloarec, no score. Ricardo Campello, no score. Robbie Swift with the 7 and Sugi with the 6.13. We have 21 minutes left in this final heat. Baptiste Cloarec on a proper-sized cloud break wave here. And he has every intention to ride this. Mark my words. Here comes Cloarec. He's done enough fading. He realizes where he is. It's time to get started on this. Wraps it around on his RRD board and rig. Proudly sponsored by Roberto Ricci Designs. Baptiste Cloarec. Now, guns for the inside. Here it is. Showtime on the aerial. Lip line. He's not done. This thing is crushing down the line. He's got to go as fast as he can, highlining his way all the way, and completely reading this perfectly. Did you see the high line on that? The level of speed and amplitude that Baptiste Cloarec just displayed was monumental. And he had to pinch every ounce of velocity from his rig to make that wave, and he certainly made it. And I think we're going to have a shakeup in the scoring here. The score is going to drop right now. Baptiste Cloarec 7.9 in the lead. That's a perfect call by the judges. It's a measured response to Swifty's wave. Takuma Sugi, you know, he had the first wave of this final. And that might have not necessarily set the scale. But now the scale is definitely set. And Campello is the only one without a score. Which means that this is most likely going to count for sure. I don't see any sort of reason for abandoning this whatsoever. What a day. Baptiste Cloarec, 8.17. Yeah, all the scores are in now. He shot through that like a freaking lightning bolt. That's going to be an amazing highlight. Just that moment of pinching the high line. He went critical throughout that ride. Really put it on the line, and the speed that he carried to the inside, I can promise you, 100%. Oh, man. These float and ride nail biters are spellbinding heats. It's such a contrast to a place like Pozo where it's blowing 50 knots and guys are jumping 50 feet into the air. And the action is just on a completely different level. The heats are a lot shorter. The action is condensed. This tells a different story. Cloarec, giving it a sniff there, realizes that's not even close to up to his standard. And if there's somebody who can play quality control on the lineup right now, it's Baptiste Cloarec, who just looks like somebody who's ready to go ham on yet another insane cloud break offering. The sun is setting in the South Pacific. There is 17 minutes and 30 seconds left in this final. And what I want to see right now is Ricardo Campello catch a super nice wave and get into the mix here. We want all 4 riders in contention. And that's not too much to ask. I think it's going to happen. Campello, you know, held it to a higher standard. He was kind of on something that would have given him only an okay score, and that just wasn't good enough for him. It is a final after all. And to have that kind of a standard is pretty important. And lest I spoke too soon, here comes Cloarec chipping in with Sugi behind him. Oh, Cloarec's on something critical here. Oh no. He's wearing the set on the back of the head and he gets obliterated. You saw it coming. Here comes Sugi. Sugi also needs to get on his horse and absorb the lesson of the elbow before shish kebabs. 100% commitment from Sugi. Takuma Sugi is heading to the inside for a big, big hero hit if he wants it. He wants it. He gets obliterated. A mirror image of the Brasinho. One-way ticket to Shish Kebab's award. Now Sugi enters the running for that award as well. But I applaud his effort. It was as if he heard me begging to hit the lip at Cloudbreak. Well, think again, young man, because Cloudbreak hits back. And you just saw it. You know what's in control and who's in control here. Baptiste Cloarec on a wave that he probably wished he didn't catch. But it's no worry. Hits a 3, which would have been much higher had that not happened. He wore the lip on the back of his neck. Made it through that, just barely, and then the lip just landed square on his head. That's going to make the highlight reel. The only 2 riders with 2 scores are the 2 riders in the lead at this moment, and these 2 riders are both dealing with the ordeal at Shish Kebabs for their second wave's efforts. Takuma Sugi in second place with an 11.13. Baptiste Cloarec in first place with an 11.63. Robbie Swift sitting in third place with a 6.87. And Ricardo Campello with a duck egg so far. But we are all rooting for Campello to get straight into this. Cloarec is being motored into the lineup. Ian Muller with a great job of driving there. And our other competitor, Sugi, is now also on the ski on his way out. It appears as if the horizon is shifting and that Robbie Swift has found what will be his second scoring ride of this final, and it is a good one. Oh, excuse me, that's Antoine Martin. Oh, no. Never mind. Not the first time this has happened. Anyway, we can understand that he's not in the final. He's getting a little play. And that's that. It's quite a nice wave. Fortunately, the score is going to be a 0. And you better hope that he didn't take that away from someone else who was actually in this heat. Anyway, that's on display, and it is what it is. Beautiful wave. And probably a pretty big fine. Campello still yet to score a wave. Yes, Simeon. Do we have any consequences for Antoine Martin's ride through the middle of the final?
We've just put Antoine back into the final.
You've just put Antoine back into the final.
We have, and the reason for that was that in that semi-final, we had a whole lot of people break the rider rule, which was to be dropped at the yellow
we'll let Campello's ride go here. Thank you. This was the wave that we wished Ricardo would catch. And we have a very interesting situation unfolding here, to say the least. Campello scoring off the bottom, forcing himself to ride this wave. He's also really far up on it. There's a lot more coming on this wave. There's a lower section for Campello, who's going to need every ounce of this wave to get back into contention here. Ricardo Campello reading this wave very effectively. This wave gifted him an opportunity to get several turns. He read it perfectly. Campello continues his ride and proceeds. We will continue with the explanation from Simeon in just a moment, because Baptiste Cloarec is also on a wave as Campello goes down. We shift to the outside of the lineup. Baptiste Cloarec, representing France in RRD, boards and sails, is in the middle section here and skies a giant aerial over the pit. Baptiste Cloarec continuing his ride. And he is out, and that allows us an exchange. Simeon, please join me here.
Okay, I'll scoot over.
Yeah, scoot over. We'll get this on the screen here. There's enough of an in-between moment that we can now get the explanation from Simeon Glasson, IWT director. Explain to me that Antoine Martin is in this final.
Okay, so we had a bit of a situation in that semi-final where all 4 riders ended up breaking the assist rule. And the assist rule was that they wouldn't be taken any further than the yellow marker. And they'd all agreed on that. They asked for that rule, and then they all agreed on that rule. And a couple of times things have happened. Robbie Swift was the first rider in that semi-final to ask his driver to break that rule and take him out. It seems like it may have happened earlier in the competition for circumstances that whatever. But anyway, Robbie asked for his driver to take him further out, and that set off a chain reaction amongst the other riders, who then also asked for them to be taken out. The last rider to get an assist was Antoine Martin, and it would seem that those assists, when we look at the heat, had a material effect on the results, and they may have advantaged Takuma very significantly and disadvantaged Antoine very significantly. So that was the situation.
Who's in the final?
The final is now 5 people.
Okay.
We did not feel comfortable disqualifying anybody. That just felt too much. So we've reinstated Antoine into that position, and we're having a 5-man final, and they're scoring that 5-man final now.
All right. So Antoine Martin is getting a score for that. I did not correctly state that he was sailing through the final. He's in the final, and I appreciate your explanation.
Apologies for the confusion.
Yeah, for a very unique and interesting situation, which I didn't comment on enough, because I saw everybody going past the yellow buoy, and I might have alluded to it, but clearly I was there for that meeting and nobody abided by it. Thank you, Simeon.
Thank you very much.
Let's continue with the final, the 5-man final. Here's Robbie Swift dropping in. Big moment for Swifty, and big moment for Antoine, who's somebody you want to root for as well. And here comes Swifty, looking like he can bottom turn like any of the best of them with a searing cutback. Swifty's hitting his stride here. He's having one of the best days of his life. Antoine Martin behind him. Antoine Martin gunning for the horizon here with another offering for Cloarec behind him. And behind him, Campbell's finally going to get his first wave. Look at this exchange at Cloudbreak. This is what it's all about. Antoine Martin in the final by nature of what would amount to, in my book, a protest hearing of sorts based on a technicality. All those scores were so close anyway. We had, 3-way ties going down. This is one of those situations you're really not going to hear much from me about this. And let the keyboard warriors rain down the criticism. But let's also account for a little bit of flexibility here in that situation. I think that was handled pretty well. I do. And I'm really glad that it wasn't Antoine just sailing through the final. Enough of that. We are on. And let's see what the scores are. That's an interesting facet to this. Because Swifty is having himself a day. He really, really is. And I guess they don't really have it on the scoring system to get Antoine Martin's scores. But he's starting to slowly chip away here. Phenomenal moment. And Cloudbreak's, you know, honoring this with offerings. Look at these waves coming in. Baptiste Cloarec in a battle with Swifty, in a battle with Campello and Martin and Sugi, and Cloarec wants to be champion. This is his moment to give it to us. Beautiful bottom turn. High level cut back here. He is looking super sharp. Cloarec perfectly lined up with the contour of the wave. Sugi on the outside skying an aerial. Cloarec skying his own version of the inside. Shish Kebab's hero hit. Sugi combining it. Cloarec with one of the best waves I've ever seen in my life. Sugi just crushing Shish Kebabs here. And he might actually want to get out of there. Yeah, you don't want anything to do with the inside down low there. Let me catch my breath. What a major moment that was. I am left speechless. I really am. There a lot went down there in a short amount of time. Sugi is in 4th place. Swifty is in 3rd place. Okay, we're getting scores for Campello. Am I missing who he is, or are we going to have to sort this out? I'm a little confused on the Campello and second bit here, but don't let me be.
Scores are coming in.
Yeah, scores are coming in. They're recalibrating. I understand. Campello definitely had his opportunity there. Oh no, what was that? Ouch. I'm being scanned. Whoa. All right, are we still here? Or was I dreaming? We're at Cloudbreak on the SS Thundercloud, and it's firing. It's 6 to 8 feet and it's windy, and I'm commentating a windsurfing contest. Am I dreaming? Pinch myself. I'm still here. I can't believe it. It's really true. Unbelievable. Life's great, isn't it? Oh my goodness. With the sun setting in the South Pacific and the waves firing at Cloudbreak Reef, with the wind blowing more than adequately to finish this thing. My name is Kai, and I am bringing this to you live on a boat, and I am a huge fan of all sports in the water: surfing, windsurfing, foiling, kiting, boogie boarding, e-foiling, whatever. It's beautiful to be here. Windsurfing, however, is special to my heart, and especially wave sailing, that discipline. What we're witnessing here is an incredibly dynamic sport based on a lot of different elements that have to combine to allow us to do what we're doing here today. And that's namely having waves and wind from certain angles that allow wave sailing to reach new heights like this. Robbie Swift crushing this wave, roof riding it. And I'm just sitting here going, this has to be a dream. And we're all living it here today. And thank you for everybody joining us, because this is what it's all about. Here are our current standings. And, you know, rising to the occasion, Baptiste Cloarec in 1st place, 16.44. Robbie Swift in 2nd with a 13.47. Takuma Sugi with a 13.03. Ricardo Campello with a 7.33 for that wave that he caught. This puts him in striking distance. Don't count anybody out. It's not over till it's over, and Cloudbreak, as if on cue, is offering a late rally here. The flag's still up. We have 2 minutes remaining, by my reckoning. Baptiste Cloarec fades behind the peak. This is one of those wide, dangerous ones. Here comes Cloarec, aiming for the sky. Big aerial into the pit, still going. Second aerial, just piecing it. Baptiste Cloarec showing the world that he is a world title contender here at Cloudbreak. Third aerial on this wave, and probably the best one. And he doesn't mind going to shish kebabs at all after that. What a display by Baptiste Cloarec. That's going to likely be the highest score of this final and possibly the event. 3 aerials, 1 wave. Here comes Ricardo Campello. 1 minute and 24 seconds left in this heat. Everything to play for it. Ricardo showing up here, and this is another one of those wide elbowed ones where he's going to have to get on his horse and do some lip hitting. Campello squares his bottom turn, high lines it towards the inside section. Can he sky this aerial? Way off the bottom. Campello's crushing the lip all the way through the section. That was a radical display. That was a radical display right there. Antoine Martin, our honorary 5th finalist. Pumping furiously to try to get into this thing. And Cloudbreak gives him access for 1 more hit. Here comes Martin, but it's done. And let's see if that's the last scoring salvo, but it's not. We have event over. However, Sugi was on this wave when the heat went down. Is this going to count? Sugi's on an absolute window maker here. Sugi's on a wave. And this was caught before the end of the heat. So this has implications. Sugi definitely caught this wave before the end of the heat, and he's done. And Antoine Martin elbowing in on a wild-looking Cloudbreak offering here has set himself up nicely. Oh my goodness, that's a beautiful moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to conclude the 2023 Fiji Surf Pro in thrilling fashion, as we have a rider going for broke on the end section, and that is worth the price of admission alone. Wow. A lot of things happened there. A lot of things went down. We have to gather ourselves. Here's a replay of all these historical rides. Baptiste Cloarec has won the contest. He's done himself proud. And we are watching replays, but we might want to cut live to Cloarec. There he is. Baptiste Cloarec. This is the high line. That was just a spectacular ride. This kid's got a bright future ahead of him, and he's got a big trophy in his trophy case. Yeah, Baptiste! Woo! Couldn't help myself. All right. We're going to do this right. I just got handed some kava. Just a moment. There he is. There's our event champion. Soaking it up. Mava. Awesome stuff. My jaw's on the floor. It's been that way for a while. Baptiste Cloarec winning the 5-star 2023 Fiji Surf Pro. That is what I'm talking about. I may as well also announce the women's winner is Sarah Hauser, 15.07 total over Sarah Kita Ofringa, 13.40. Coco Fouveau rounds out the podium in 3rd place with a very good display there. Let's take in some of these highlights. We will also be bringing you the awards ceremony right now. Baptiste Cloarec and Sarah Hauser are our champions of cloud break. And that's awesome. Look at Cloarec's wave here. The sheer amplitude of this highline ride diving into the inside section only to just sky that air. And the control. And the punishment that cloud break delivers. That was the hammer. Oh, this was the best contest ever. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can get a guest MC here. Paul. We're going to bring on Paul Karolidis. Come on up. We just want your impressions. You were on the water all day. And please join us. That's fine. None other than the one and only Paul Karolidis joining on the panel. Paul, how was it out there in the channel today?
Man, there was some scary sets. At one point, we're trying to go closer to the peak because the current was the other way.
Yeah.
But every now and then when you saw the big set, you were like, oh no, I want to go the other way.
You saw some people getting lit up. I mean, Cloarec got one. He got axed. There, Sarah Kita got a big wave on the head.
Man, Sarah Kita I think she got the best wave of her life.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
So, man, her turns right in the pocket, and you should have been there here to hear her screaming out of joy.
Beautiful. What an amazing moment for wave sailing as we watch epic highlights here. Paul, thank you so much for your hard work shooting this event. You and your wife Sophie have brought such an element to the sport of your documentation, and just this is so fitting for you guys to be here documenting this. I can't wait to see the footage and what else. And what are you hearing from some of your friends back at home about this and what they're watching and the gravity of this?
Oh, they're enjoying it. I had a friend, he saw one of the shots I took yesterday from behind the peak, the one that you could see the lip going and then you could see the sail in the foreground.
Uh-huh.
And he was asking me if I was still alive after that, after taking that one on the head.
Beautiful. Beautiful moment here. Paul, you were here last year. We definitely enjoy having you here and the presence and everything. I do feel that you're also kind of like me, this fan of the sport.
Oh, yes.
You have this huge enthusiasm. Bring me a little bit about what you think this event actually means for windsurfing.
Man, we thought last year was good. This year it's on another scale. I think this is what pure wave riding down the line, gnarly sections, big airs. This is what makes people get excited about windsurfing. And I think even if you're not into windsurfing, you see clips from today and the first day,
exactly.
Then you say, wow, that's an exciting sport to watch.
And yeah, for people who actually do it like us, there's nothing else that you'd rather see than some of these battles, some of these heats that were getting won in the last minute. Campello making the final with that last little window. Just an incredible event to consider. You couldn't have even scripted this. If you had written it yourself, you wouldn't have been able to come up with some of these outcomes. Talk to me about Baptiste Cloarec and what you see him doing on the wave that's setting him apart from everybody else.
I saw him first time ever last year at Cape Verde, and I was impressed with his timing on his aerials, and that's not the tag that he's used to. But then after seeing the pictures that they had from a few days before the contest, the big day they had, I was like, wow, this kid is really good. And then seeing him live here, I said to him, his timing is impeccable on the wave. He goes super late, gets the heaviest section of the wave and just throws him forward.
Yeah.
And then his turns. He's so loose on his turns. He's properly surfing the wave, not just doing airs, but proper surfing the wave.
He seems to have this gear, both with the speed, but then the speed of his turns.
Yeah.
It's two things.
Yeah.
It's like the forward speed, but then the speed of his turns is just, it's crazy.
And then when you're close, when you see him going down the line for the next section, the speed that he gets, and also if you see his eyes, the concentration in his face, looking down the line just to get the right spot to hit.
And there's our champion, Sarah Hauser, you know, who you didn't really mention, but there was that other wave with her and Sarakita that Sarakita, you know, gave to her graciously, and Sarah really did go to town on that. That was an amazing ride as well. It almost was the same score as Sarakita's big bomb, which was an 8.1. You know, this is a huge score, just enough to edge Sarah Hauser into the champion's position. But I mean, credit all the women here who came here and did battle in a ferocious environment. This is a dangerous place to sail.
Yep.
And they all persevered in a very, very challenging situation. Well, Paul, I appreciate you signing us up with us. We're getting ready for the awards ceremony.
Okay.
We're getting ready to see all your shots and your footage. Thank you so much. Really.
Thank you.
We just wanted to give you a little moment to say hi and appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man. Paul Karolides, half of the Fishbowl Diaries team here. We are in business. Cloudbreak has delivered. And we wish you all the best there at home. Thank you for joining us. There's Hauser, that winning glow. The podiums are next. Stick with us right here. We will bring you the awards ceremony shortly. Enjoy a little behind the scenes footage in the meantime. There's our men's bracket. And you look at the semis, Campello, Sugi, Cloarec, and Swift. In the final, Cloarec sealing the deal, seizing that momentum that started in round one with some of these aerial antics. A super impressive display. Baptiste Cloarec's gonna remember this one for the rest of his life. It's a career-defining moment. And the men's title race heats up considerably. There will definitely be a shakeup in the rankings here. Things have flipped so considerably since the Aloha Classic concluded last year and we crowned Marsilio Brown world champion. This thing has been blown wide open. Wide open. Thank you for everybody for your kind words and encouragement, not just for the live stream, but just for the show that just got put on here. And my thank yous also to the local Fijian villages here who have granted us access to Cloudbreak. Thank you for everybody out in the water here for being patient while we finish this thing up. It's done and dusted. And I can only reflect really positively on the body of work that has been done. Wow. We really appreciate our sponsors as well. We'll rattle that list off one more time. Fiji Airways, Flight to Happiness, Vodaphone, Fiji Surf Company, Victoria Wines, Aqua Safe, Tourism Fiji, and Bayview Cove Resort, and last but not least, Bati Protector, local tradition sun protection. Thank you so much to our sponsors. And we are done. We are going to show you the awards presentation. It's been an honor and a privilege. Until next time, Vinaka.